안녕하세요 여러분. I'm sorry for not having a somewhat regular schedule of uploads recently. I am in the process of trying to reformat my uploading schedule where I will push myself really hard to upload 3 videos a week and not 2. Guys, this is still under construction. I am still not sure if I will be able to pull this off. I feel like I am getting more efficient with my videos on one hand, but then on the other, I'm still in my last year of university. I still have a dissertation hanging over my head, making me a little bit nervous. With that said, the author of Korean from Zero and I have been facilitating Korean learning workshops here in London for the past 2 weeks, and beside the fact that it's been amazing so far, the topic of today's video actually came out of our last week's Friday workshop, which was based around Korean basics, where we talked about verb and adjective conjugation, and we came up with this irregular verb, which was to be white, which in Korean is 하얗다. And while George was explaining to everyone the irregular conjugation of that specific adjective, I was thinking to myself, the way I think of colors in Korean is usually in a direct modified form where they're pretty much adverbs, or where they have a word color attached to it and then they can just describe any object. I never thought of them actually having a dictionary form. So hearing 하얗다 instead of the 하얀 or 하얀색 that I am used to got me thinking of why that's happening and how can I learn it so that I can share it with all of you guys in case you are wondering as well. So without further ado, let's get into colors. Alright, before we get into actually learning the names of colors in Korean, I think it would make sense for us to first learn how to say the word color. I did mention it earlier in case any of you have picked up on it, but the word for color in Korean is 색깔. 색깔. That is a standalone word for color in Korean. And for example, I've heard in some Korean drama or TV show this question of 무슨 색깔이에요? What kind of color is this? I'm pretty sure you can also say 무슨 색이에요, where you just use the first syllable of 색깔. Right, now that we know the word for color in Korean, it is very simple and very intuitive for us to figure out the basic way to say any color in Korean. You just gotta pick the color you think of and then add 색, and that's it. And then you'll be able to describe anything. That's one way of looking at Korean colors. So let's go through the list of the most common colors right now. Right, so color for red would be 빨간색. As I'm gonna be telling you colors in Korean, try to notice some patterns and maybe trends that are occurring throughout some of the words, because later we'll get back to that. There are actually multiple ways to say orange in Korean, and one of it is more Konglish, where you just literally say 오렌지 or 오렌지색. And then another way of saying is 주황색. You can pick either one of them. If you say 오렌지, you're gonna be understood. If you say 주황색, obviously you're gonna be understood. And you're gonna get brownie points from native Korean speakers being like, oh man, you know that word, well done. Yellow in Korean is very simple, and it is 노란색, 노란색, 노란색. There are also multiple ways you can say green, and from what I've researched, the color words in Korean who have multiple ways of saying them usually are either Englishified, like 오렌지, or they come from Chinese. So there is a Sino-Korean way of saying certain colors, just like there are Sino-Korean numbers, and then there's a native Korean way of saying a certain color. Not all colors have that. So in Korean, the word for green is 초록색, 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 or 녹색. And that is actually really interesting because green tea in Korean is 녹차. Whenever I forget how to say 초록색, I just say 녹색 because I know that 녹차 in Korean is green tea. Right, moving down the rainbow, next we have light blue and blue. I wouldn't wanna confuse you guys too much with words for light and dark and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So let's just go with blue. Blue in Korean is 파란색, 파란색, 파란색. Purple in Korean would be 보라색, 보라색, 보라색. There's actually a way to say rainbow colored in Korean, which is 무지개색, 무지개색, 무지개색. Now moving on to colors that are not a part of rainbow but are still pretty used colors like pink. Just like the word for orange, there is a Konglish way of saying pink, which is 핑크, 핑크색. And I'm pretty sure that's quite widely used, especially in makeup. But there is a native Korean word for pink, color pink, and that is 분홍색, 분홍색, 분홍색. I mentioned the word for white earlier on in the video. It is 하얀색. Also, it can be 백, like something that is white can be described as 백, which I'm sure comes from Chinese. That's like the Sino-Korean way of saying white. Just throwing that extra trivia out there for you guys. Moving on to black, and man, this color has so many ways to be described. Tutors and native Korean speakers, please help me distinguish between the 3 words for black that I found. Do they have any difference? Are they used in different instances at different times? Please let me know. I'm not an expert on colors. But the 3 words that I found that mean black in Korean are 검정색, 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 까만색, 까만색, and 검은색, 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 검정색, 까만색, 검은색. All of these mean black in Korean. Right, so the next color in Korean is brown, and I actually found 2 ways of saying it, 갈색 and 밤색. And in one of the sources where I researched, the person actually mentioned that 갈색 is light brown and 밤색 is like the brown. So those of you guys who know a little bit more than me, please let me know if that is the case. All right, next color is gray, and that is 회색. Next, I just wanted to throw in 3 quite important colors that we don't really think about when we think colors, and those are gold, silver, and bronze, like in the Olympics, or once again, in makeup. Gold in Korean would be 금색, 금색. 금 is actually gold in Korean, and I'm pretty sure in Chinese too, right? Silver would be 은색, and bronze would be 청동색. 청동색. Alright, let's see how we can actually use these words in a sentence, and let's look at some patterns that I myself have been able to kind of distinguish and figure out, and now I want to share them with you. Alright, so first of all, there are 5 colors in Korean that I find to be a bit special, and those are red, blue, white, yellow, and black. I don't know why it is these colors, but they actually have a dictionary form, which means they can be conjugated and they can turn into direct modifiers. All right, so let's see how this actually happens. Right now, I'm just gonna give you the dictionary form for all of these 5 colors, and you see for yourself what kind of pattern is occurring throughout all of these 5 colors. Red would be 밝았다. Blue, 파랗다. White, 하얗다. Yellow, 노랗다. Black, 까맣다. Have you noticed anything similar about all of these adjectives? Yep, they all end on a hiat before the da. 밝았다, 파랗다, 노랗다. So when we want to direct modify them, all we gotta do is get rid of the da and also get rid of that hiat at the very bottom and replace it with nian. So we end up with 빨간, 파란, 노란, 하얀, and 까만. So let's come up with very simple sentences. Maybe even not sentences, like semi-sentences. For example, 빨간 입술, red lips. 파란 티셔츠, blue shirt. 까만 옷, black clothes. 노란 집, yellow house. 하얀 책, white book. As you can see, you can use these 5 colors as such direct modifiers without the word 색 connected to them. I don't need to say 빨간색 입술. I can, but I don't need to. Whereas with every other color word, like 주황색 or 보라색, I do. I can't just say 보라차, purple car. It's just not gonna sound right. I don't know, in my head it doesn't sound right. All of you native Korean speakers and tutors, please let me know, can you actually just say 보라차? These are just the trends that I've noticed myself when learning Korean. Let me know if you know any other trends that come to Korean colors. I will put a lot more examples and explanations in the blog post. I'm sorry, I've been so bad with writing the blog posts. They take so much time. Oh my god. I need a little minion that can just write the blog post for me. Alright, so that is it for today, guys. I hope this was informative. I hope I didn't confuse the life out of you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comment section. I will try to answer them. The very enthusiastic native Korean speakers in the comment section will try to answer them. Thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm and contribution. Without you, my weekly Korean series would mean literally nothing. So yeah, I hope you all are staying happy and healthy, and I will see you all this week. Bye! 안녕!